The revolution will be soft. Why your peace is the most dangerous thing you'll ever protect. I want to talk to you about something that might sound soft, but is actually the most dangerous, disruptive, revolutionary act you can commit in a world that profits from your exhaustion. I want to talk to you about choosing yourself, about protecting your peace, about the audacity, the absolute audacity of deciding that your rest is not negotiable, your boundaries are not up for debate, and your softness is not a weakness to be apologized for. But before I dive in, I need to tell you about someone who changed the way I see strength, survival, and what it really means to live free. Her name is Ebony Patterson. Ebony has spent her life in the trenches doing the sacred work of helping Black women reclaim their voices, their boundaries, and their right to rest without apology. She's a healer, a truth teller, and a disruptor of the narratives that have kept us chained to survival mode for far too long. Her work has touched countless lives, reminding women that they are worthy of the softness they've been denying themselves, that their peace is not a luxury, but a birthright. And what she shared with me, what she's been teaching women for years, is the foundation of what I want to share with you today. Because here's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud. We've been lied to, we've been sold a story that survival is strength, that pushing through is power, that saying yes, even when your spirit is screaming no, is what makes you a good woman, a good mother, a good leader. We've been taught that rest is laziness, that boundaries are selfish, and that softness is something to be ashamed of. And we believed it. We believed it so deeply that we built our entire lives around it. We wore exhaustion like a badge of honor. We carried everyone else's burdens and called it love. We sacrificed our peace on the altar of productivity and told ourselves we were doing the right thing. But what if I told you that the real revolution, the real power, is in learning to love yourself so deeply that you refuse to betray your own peace? What if the bravest thing you could do today, right now, is choose softness over survival? Let me tell you about a woman named Regina Latrice. Regina is a Black woman, a mother, a minister, and an entrepreneur. She's also a survivor. Her childhood was shaped by violence and silence. Her father was abusive. Her mother struggled quietly to hold the family together. And Regina watched. She watched her mother endure, and she learned early that love sometimes looked like suffering, that strength sometimes looked like silence, that good women stayed no matter the cost. So when Regina grew up and found herself in an abusive marriage, she stayed. She stayed because she thought that's what strong women do. She stayed because she was afraid of breaking up her family. She stayed because leaving felt selfish. And she had been taught that her needs, her peace, her very life came second to everyone else's comfort. Regina stayed even as her spirit was dying, even as her body was breaking, even as her soul was screaming for freedom. But here's what Regina eventually learned, and here's what I need you to hear. She learned that you cannot pour from an empty cup. She learned that protecting your peace is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And she learned that faith, real faith, sometimes looks like walking away from what's killing you, even when everyone around you is telling you to stay, even when the world is calling you selfish, even when you're terrified of what comes next. Regina left that marriage. She left and she rebuilt. She founded Misfits Clothing Boutique, a business rooted in confidence and self expression, a business that celebrates women who refuse to shrink themselves to fit into someone else's idea of acceptable. She wrote a memoir called Finishing Touch, a survivor's journey. And in it, she tells the truth about what it cost her to survive and what it gave her to finally choose herself. Regina's story is a testament to the power of self love, the power of saying, I am worthy of peace and I will not apologize for protecting it. Regina didn't just survive, she transformed. She turned her pain into purpose, her trauma into testimony, and her survival into a platform that now uplifts other women to be bold, to be authentic, to be unapologetically themselves. And that transformation didn't happen because she hustled harder. It happened because she finally gave herself permission to rest, to heal, to be soft. Now, let me tell you about Ron Brown. Rana is a successful Black entrepreneur, but her journey didn't start with success. It started with loss. She lost her job. She was a single mother. She was scared. And she looked around and realized that there were no resources for women like her. Women who were trying to build something from nothing, women who were tired of waiting for permission to thrive. So Rona decided to create those resources herself. She started her business, and at first, she did what so many of us do. She hustled, she grinded, she operated from a place of fear and scarcity, believing that if she just worked hard enough, if she just pushed through, everything would be okay. But burnout doesn't care how hard you work. Burnout doesn't care how strong you are. Burnout doesn't ask for your resume before it breaks you. And eventually, Ron hit a wall. She was exhausted. She was overwhelmed. She was running on fumes. And she realized that she couldn't keep going like this. So she did something radical. She surrendered. She let go of the need to control everything. She leaned into her faith and she started prioritizing her well being over the constant grind. She focused on purpose rather than profit. She chose peace over performance. And you know what happened? Her business thrived, not in spite of her choosing peace, but because of it. Because when you stop running on empty, when you stop operating from a place of fear and scarcity, when you finally give yourself permission to rest and trust, you create space for abundance, for clarity, for sustainable success. Rana's story teaches us something crucial. It teaches us that valuing your peace is not just personally healing, it's foundational to sustainable success. You cannot build a life, a business, a legacy on a foundation of burnout. You cannot lead others if you're running on empty. And you cannot love others well if you haven't first learned to love yourself. Ronnie didn't just build a business, she built a movement. She became a mentor to other women, helping them avoid the burnout trap, helping them see that their worth is not tied to their productivity, helping them understand that rest is not a reward for hard work, it's a requirement for meaningful work. And then there's Adriana Barbosa. Adriana is the founder of Feira Preta and Afro Hub, platforms that empower Black entrepreneurs in Brazil and around the world. But Adriana's journey didn't start in a boardroom. It started on the streets as a vendor, as someone who was invisible to the systems that were supposed to support her. Adriana faced systemic barriers, lack of resources, and personal doubts. She could have given up. She could have believed the lie that she wasn't enough, that her dreams were too big, that her voice didn't matter. But she didn't. Adriana drew strength from her family's spirituality. She built networks of support. She focused on collective empowerment and self esteem. And today, her initiatives have invested millions in Black owned businesses. They've expanded access to opportunities. They've fostered a sense of belonging and pride. Adriana's work has strengthened racial literacy, self esteem, and community belonging. And it all started with one woman deciding that she was worthy of taking up space, that her peace mattered, that her dreams were valid. Adriana didn't just create a business, she created a legacy. She transformed a humble dream into a global movement, investing in Black businesses and redefining the narrative of Black success. And she did it by loving herself enough to believe that she deserved to exist fully, to thrive unapologetically, to claim her space without shrinking. So, what do Regina, Roni, and Adriana have in common? They all learned that self love is not selfish. They all learned that protecting your peace is not weak. And they all learned that faith and resilience are superpowers that can carry you through the darkest times. They all learned that the revolution, the real revolution, starts with you choosing yourself. Let me break this down for you because I know some of you are sitting there thinking, that's great for them, but I don't have time for self love. I have bills to pay. I have kids to raise. I have a business to run. I have people depending on me. I have deadlines and obligations and responsibilities that don't care about my peace. And I hear you. I see you. But here's what I need you to understand: prioritizing self love is not about abandoning your responsibilities, it's about honoring yourself enough to show up for those responsibilities from a place of wholeness, not depletion. When you love yourself deeply and unconditionally, you set the standard for how others treat you. You set the standard for how you navigate life's challenges. You stop accepting less than you deserve. You stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You stop apologizing for taking up space. And you start living from a place of power, not survival. You start making decisions that honor your peace, not just other people's expectations. You start saying no without guilt, setting boundaries without apology, and resting without explanation. And protecting your peace, that's not selfish either. That's essential. As Black leaders and entrepreneurs, as Black women, we face unique pressures and expectations. We're expected to be strong all the time. We're expected to carry everyone else's burdens. We're expected to say yes, even when our bodies are begging us to say no. We're expected to be superhuman. And when we're not, we're told we're failing. But here's the truth: guarding your inner peace is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Make peace a non negotiable. Set boundaries. Say no when necessary. Choose environments and relationships that nourish your spirit, not drain it. And faith, faith is your superpower. No matter how difficult the journey gets, remember that faith in yourself, in God, in your community can carry you through the darkest times. Embrace your resilience. Know that every setback is an opportunity for growth and a testament to your strength. You are not alone. Your ancestors are walking with you. God is walking with you, and you are stronger than you know. I've been through hell and back, but God was and is still with me every step of the way. Amen. And I say that not to preach, but to testify, to remind you that even in the darkest valleys, even when you feel like you're drowning, even when the weight of the world is crushing you, there is a force greater than your pain, greater than your fear, greater than your exhaustion that is holding you up. And that force is love, divine love, ancestral love, self love. Now, I want to give you something practical because I don't just want you to feel inspired. I don't just want you to nod your head and say, that was nice. I want you to take action. I want you to disrupt the patterns that have been keeping you stuck. I want you to start your own revolution right here, right now. So here's your challenge. This week, I want you to do one thing that honors your peace and self love. Just one thing. Maybe it's setting a new boundary with a colleague who's been draining your energy. Maybe it's practicing self care, taking a bath, going for a walk, sitting in silence. Maybe it's saying no to something that doesn't serve you, even if it disappoints someone else. Maybe it's taking a nap without guilt. Maybe it's turning off your phone for an hour and just breathing. Maybe it's telling someone you love them. Starting with yourself, whatever it is, take a concrete step to put yourself and your peace first because you are worthy and your peace is priceless. And here's what I want you to feel right now: I want you to feel uplifted. I want you to feel affirmed. I want you to feel deeply inspired. I want you to feel like your ancestors and your loved ones are speaking through you, reminding you that you are seen, you are valued, and you are never alone. And I want you to feel a sense of spiritual connection, hope, and renewed commitment to loving yourself and protecting your peace no matter what you face. Because here's the thing, you've been strong for so long. You've been carrying so much for so long, and it's okay to put it down. It's okay to rest. It's okay to be soft. Softness is not weakness. Softness is a radical act of self love. Softness is what happens when you finally give yourself permission to exhale. Softness is the revolution. This is your soft girl era. This is your time to unlearn survival and rediscover softness. This is your time to reclaim the joy, rest, and freedom you deserve without guilt, without apology, and without explanation. This is your time to drop the cape. This is your time to redefine strength. This is your time to embrace healing, wholeness, and emotional honesty. So I'm asking you right now to make a choice. Choose yourself. Choose your peace. Choose softness. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Not because the world will applaud you, but because your soul is begging you. Not because you have it all figured out, but because you're brave enough to start. The revolution will be soft, and it starts with you.